Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to a little special treat here. We have the actual finals of the event here of the ARG Presents States Championship in Florida at PPG Ultra Pro. Show meta, everything I can think of, say all at once. So we
Just combining
yeah,
into a
just
big
everything.
Kamehameha.
Yeah, so here we go. We're going to go to the finals here. And the reason why we're going to the finals, I'm going to let our boy George just explain. We had a little something that happened, so let's go over it, George. What happened?
Yeah, so it is 10 p.m. We had a lot of people traveling to the event,
actually
a lot of
11
people
p.m.
flying
Actually, it's
and
like-
driving. Well, shout out to them first of all,
Right.
because coming down to Miami, I know we're not the most central location.
Right.
This is literally the farthest that you can go.
Yeah, if you go any further, you're just actually in the ocean.
You're pretty much in the ocean, essentially. You're almost at Cuba. We're pretty much at Cuba. We're walking on the equator.
Right, yes, we're going to have the state championships in the ocean.
Yeah,
ocean
so a lot of these
championships.
guys carpooled together. They were okay with just not making it to the final. Some of them had to go. They were okay with the pricing. The pricing was so good, by the way.
Yes.
A lot of these guys were just okay with just entering and just not walking away with anything.
Right.
As far as the people that there was 80 plus people that just walked away with nothing, unfortunately. But we actually gave out tournament packs for entry. We gave out
awesome.
2 tournament packs per entry, so a lot of people were just super happy with just entering the event and just having the experience. So a lot of these guys, it was $1,000 obviously split between top 16. So some of these guys had to go, and then some of the rounds that were done earlier, they just started much early. They didn't wait until everybody in top 8 was ready. It's just go, go, go. So we finally have it here. We have a final between Peter Cattani and Jewlz, I don't know where this guy came from.
Yeah, well, I actually talked to his group. I met them at Orlando, I think, the Alabama Regional, and I think they came from Orlando.
They came from Orlando?
They drove 3 hours. They got here, and out of the group, Jewlz made it to the
Shout out
finals.
to their group, man.
Yeah.
They're actually just staying here. They could have just been like, all right, we're out. Peace, Jewlz. Find our way back to Orlando.
Yep.
Which a lot of people would do, and a lot of people did do. They were just like, we got to go.
we gotta. I mean, again, it's 11 o'clock.
But he really wants to become the champion here. He's like, I will stay, have my friends, have the risk of my friends leaving me, and just take down the strongest team in the game right now, PBG. Peter Cattani.
It's 11 o'clock right now. If this lasts about an hour, that's 12 o'clock. They go eat, that's 1 o'clock, plus a 3-hour drive. That's like 4 a.m. They don't get. That's if they don't stop or traffic or anything.
That is dedication.
That is
I
dedication.
really applaud these guys for staying here and actually just playing it out, and it's been fantastic. And
so Peter Cattani playing Soul Striker Goku. This is the same list he played in Indy, or did he make some changes? Or Indy, Richmond, or did he make some changes to it?
Man, the thing is, I don't even know, because he's been debating, he said it publicly, Goku Black, Broly, I just want to play something different.
Right.
I didn't really see him going back to Goku at all. This was a big surprise to me, and this was a last minute switch, because I know he was tinkering with those decks and different iterations of them. And
shows you
it's
how
just
important
really
this
strange to see him.
He wants to do good. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I mean, I think he felt just comfortable and reliable with this choice.
Right.
So you really can't fault him. You know?
No, absolutely.
I think it is one of the strongest picks now. It doesn't auto lose a Cell. It's still a hard matchup against Cell, and it also still takes down Vegeta. Obviously, as you've seen him beating Marcel in the finals of Richmond.
Yeah, I think this is a good testament to Vegeta too. I mean, we talked a lot about that the last matchup, and we said a lot of people are talking about the changes to how Vegeta works, where if he has critical on the front side, if he is at 5 life, he takes a life, gets critical, awakens, he actually loses critical, and a lot of people were saying, well, Vegeta's dead.
Dead.
Yep, dead card.
Not playing
dead
it.
card's dead.
Changing deck.
Yep.
Re-sleeving.
Yeah, and as it turns out, it put Eddie in top cut, and it puts Jewlz to the finals. So doesn't seem that dead to me. I don't know.
Well, he's back on stream now. He actually opted out of streams for the most of the day today. Don't know why. I guess he just didn't want to play.
Peter with the hey everyone,
hey,
little piece of paper.
Little shout out to the fans. Peter, very good with his fans.
Alrighty, going into Jewlz attacking here again with Vegeta, going double strike critical here. Pretty devastating attack here. Again, this is something you just have to get used to dealing with as a Goku player. Surprisingly, though, Peter tapped out the turn before, which is really surprising to me. It's
Hmm.
something you never want to do against Vegeta because now you have to essentially take 2 crits,
Yeah, never.
go to 5, right? You know what I
You
mean?
always, even if you don't have something that you can respond with on your opponent's side, you always want to like just make it seem like you do have something.
Right.
It's the bluffing element to any card game. You always want to make sure that you at least put up a front like you can have something.
Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
get punished.
Yeah, and Jewlz making a weird choice here of just of actually not comboing past what he can combo in field, and so Peter just said, okay, I'll kill my 2 boos and Bulma and actually stop that.
Not that bad of a choice by
No,
Peter. He doesn't lose any hand presence
right,
at all, and it actually clears the threat of any potential incoming Sun Gotens.
absolutely,
Sun Goten and the Vegeta matchup, I mean, like, it's not the best against this Goku deck, but it's still something that gives you value. It's almost like a 1K, I mean, a 1 mana 10K pump,
hmm
because you're getting rid of a 5K from your opponent's board, and then you're adding a 5K on your side, and you're getting rid of one of your opponent's, like, floating nuisances.
right. And then we see 3-cost Gotenks here. This is a card that's been surprising me today. We've seen this card almost every deck. I don't care what deck it is. It could be mono blue, and they just run 3 or 4 of this guy and put him in the deck. I don't understand. I've seen this guy literally
So
cast
good.
in every matchup. Uh, what's so funny is like probably a week ago he was unplayable, and all of a sudden he's in every deck. It just shows you how fast the meta evolves and changes, and it's just amazing. That's one thing I love this game so much. It's just week to week to week the game is different. It's changing. It's getting better. People are finding ways to beat things that they couldn't beat before. It's just amazing to watch. Let's see what
Yeah,
Peter
that
decides.
Gotenks really just getting in there. It's actually really good against the Goku deck.
Mhm.
In particular, you're not playing with a lot of cards. You're not playing like with a lot of cards like you are against Vegeta. I don't think the Gotenks is very good against those decks that have so many cards in hand, just like Vegeta does. But against these really grindy decks, mid-rangey decks, especially Goku, you can see Gotenks putting in a lot of work actually.
Oh, I don't know what you do. What do you do here, is Jules? Because if you see that your Soul Striker just passed with
5
5 energy, you
energy
know you're
or
not getting
4? No, that's 4.
it's yeah it's
One,
4,
two,
yeah
three,
it's
four,
4,
four,
yeah.
four. Okay.
You know you're not getting any damage through, and all you're gonna do is put Gohans on the board here. And so I mean, do you just attack once with Gotenks to get a card, and then if he plays Gohan, you just try to pressure it with Vegeta? I mean, that's probably the only play you make, right? And then kind of pass turn yourself. I don't feel like you can give Peter too many turns, but I also feel like you don't want to play into Gohans, right?
No, yeah, you definitely don't. And Peter charged the results, so it's very feasible that you can't have another results.
Right.
So you need to awaken him here, unfortunately. I think that's the only option here. And that's fine because Peter's at 5? Yeah, he's at 5. So that's perfectly fine.
Jules decided to attack with Vegeta first. Interesting.
Okay. Did he crit?
Yeah, he did
Yeah,
crit, so
okay.
he's
He
down.
crit and awakened?
Yeah, well, he awakened last turn, but so he's down 3
Oh,
turns.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, alright.
So here's
Cool.
the
So
Gohan
the
we
crit
talked
is
about.
actually
This
working,
has to be
okay.
telegraphed. I feel like Jules has to have some sort of
Maybe a Sun Goten, maybe he was baiting out the Sun Goten, but even then, I wouldn't even have critted with the Vegeta.
right. Interesting. He has to have some. He has to have some plan here because you can't afford not to attack into the leader with your Gotenks.
Yeah, you're definitely doing that. You need to awaken your opponent. You need to awaken Peter here.
Peter with a heck of a defensive hand,
Oh,
though.
man. He has Piccolos and everything.
Yeah, Peter gonna take it.
Almost.
Yeah, guys, just to let you know for people just joining. Yeah, a bunch of people had to leave. Again, we are going on to 11 o'clock p.m., so a bunch of people had to leave. Plus, some of the games in the top 8 got played while we were casting the top 16.
Yeah, they
so
didn't even wait for us.
right,
They were
they
like,
just like
we want to go home.
we
And I
want
was
to
like,
play our
okay.
games.
I mean, we can't really hold them.
Right.
I mean, we did that actually in, what was it? Indy. We did it in Indy, right?
Uh-huh.
We held top 4 matches,
and actually
which
did 2.
Anthony almost missed his flight because
Yeah,
of that,
yep.
actually, which was a.
Yeah,
It was if I was Anthony, I would have been like, no, I'm playing right now.
I am playing
need
now,
to
I'm
go
gonna-
home.
Yeah,
Like, these guys have flights, and they have, people, obviously, you don't go to these events by yourself.
right. You don't absolutely
You
not.
carpool,
Unless you're a
do all
little
types
boy
of
from West Virginia,
Yeah, maybe.
just trying to come
Like
up to
Dusty.
Miami and make a name out of yourself.
Dusty. No, yeah, it's great, but it's awesome. I love the community.
Absolutely.
I love how all these guys travel in packs. I really think that helps them get better at the game because they have so many different people to like bounce back ideas with
Mhm.
and test with, and like sometimes you don't have all the time to play Dragon Ball all the time, so you just bounce back ideas with people that do,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then you just you're like, okay, well that confirms my theory, or that that rejects my theory, and that is just I'm just definitely gonna just go away from this because I
Right.
know it's not gonna be as good as I think it is.
Right.
So that's why it's
Absolutely.
fantastic. I love groups. I love teams. I've always been a big advocate of that. So
Peter,
definitely shout out to them. I'm
Peter already
sure
down to
that
three
Jewlz didn't
life.
make it this way all by himself.
Oh,
So
absolutely not. No, he had a big group of guys. We talked a little bit while they were getting set up for the stream, and they were again. They traveled from Orlando 3 hours, and like I said, even if this match is a quick match, they still probably not going to get home until 4 a.m., which is just absurd, right?
insane, absurd. I mean,
Yeah.
like maybe they got a hotel. I mean, like I know a lot of people actually traveled out to this event, which is not going to be as good. I mean, this event was very good EV. It was a lot of good value because you actually just got your money back just in the entry. Just
Hmm.
like regionals, when you go to regionals, you get the tournament packs and the playmat. Here, you just got the tournament packs, but the entry fee was a little bit lower, and you were playing for $1,000 cash.
Yeah,
So
I actually think that's why, honestly, this game has been so successful.
oh yeah, fantastic. I
And
mean, Bandai, if you're watching this, please reconsider the whole cash thing. I mean,
right,
we would love to do cash and Bandai together, but this is an ARG, as you guys know. ARGs are not tied directly with Bandai, so
right,
you can just do whatever you want for the most part. But definitely, I really wish Bandai would maybe consider it a little bit stronger, the cash part. But the tournament packs are still a very good thing to play for, and
absolutely,
it's almost as liquid as cash, anyways.
it is, especially at the beginning
Yeah,
when new
no,
set
definitely.
comes out. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
fantastic.
some of those
Even
things
at
are so
the even at the end at this point, like you see fluctuating price, like chilling Android, Android 17 or whatever has gone, it's fluctuated and now it's even higher, even though they're mass reprint and anything like that. It just really depends on what's being played.
absurd.
Yeah, sorry guys, we've been deviating too much from the game, but
No, no, no.
it's been a long day. It's been a
We
long,
like you said, we've been here
long day.
for over 12
Yeah, we've
hours,
been here since 9 a.m. So
which has been fun. I've had a
no,
great
it's been
time.
fantastic.
I hope you guys will have
I'm
me back
surprised I
sometime.
still have energy. I'm surprised you still have energy.
Yeah, it's fine. We're used to it.
I'm not.
That's what we do.
Man, there was some pretty tough calls on the floor all day
Oh, I can
today.
imagine. Yeah, yeah. Especially with these new rulings.
Oh
Just the
man,
day was
I
just
don't know how many times I had to answer Cold Bloodlust does this, Cold Bloodlust does that, but I think they were able to get the hang of it after like round 3. They were just like, okay, I know what that happens, and then it didn't get brought up till like round 5, and one of the players was like, man, I've been playing this way the whole day, and I'm like, how?
what do you mean?
You've been doing this wrong the whole
The
day?
entire day.
Oh man. But like emphasis on always, if you're not 100% sure, just call over a judge.
That's
There's
the
nothing.
judge. Yeah.
They're not going to charge you for their time. They're not going to be like, oh, game loss. You're calling me over
Did
too
you
many
just did
times.
you just come over and ask me a question,
Yeah,
peasant?
that's going to be
How
$5.
dare you? Yeah, that's definitely you're out of here. We don't put up with that kind of stuff.
What do you say?
Help.
Help.
There's Kel for some much needed pressure. Yeah, Kel finally. Peter getting Kel off the top. Actually, I think from the life there. Again, fantastic card against Vegeta. We talk about it a lot. It's 20,000 critical strike attacker, which is just devastating in general. Plus, it removes threats, which is also extremely powerful. And then finally, it also draws you a card.
In this particular scenario, though, not as great. Only dealing with one threat on
Yeah.
Jewlz'
Hmm.
board. That's the great thing about having to sometimes just controlling your board. When you play cards like Kale and you know that that's a threat to your deck, and not getting 2-for-1, avoiding those 2-for-1s, and just being able to be like, okay, it's going to trade with only one of my cards. I'm fine
Yep.
with that.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I always call that on my stream. I always call that Kel math, right? You always want to make
Kale
sure
math.
you always want to make sure you're not leaving five energy worth of stuff up so you can get blown out.
There goes another Gotenks, just continuing to put the pressure on Peter.
So many
And
cards.
he's just having to ditch all these cards that could be so useful to him. And maybe the play here is just discarding the Majin Buu, probably because it gets him another card. He's effectively losing that, but
Yeah, he
yeah.
could try Sensu Bean, but he's tapped out, so he's gonna have to just pitch either a Piccolo, which doesn't sound right, or like you said, the Boo. I like that choice. I'll take it.
No, took
Actually,
another
pitches a
Majin
Boo
Buu-like card.
and grabs Goku. Not that bad of a trade.
Not that bad. I mean, more expensive Boo, albeit, but
Mm-hmm. It also gives him a little bit of extra green energy if he wants to put down like a third.
he's
green energy,
untapping with 3 Gohans, man.
A lot of pressure on this board on Vegeta here.
That's what you got to do. I think here you just have to get rid of the Gotenks.
And control the board. You have your Soul Striker is very good at clearing up the board here. It's 3 to 4. You have an extra life.
I mean, Jewlz is at 3, so hypothetically, maybe. And he's
Maybe.
tapped out. Is he tapped out? Oh, no, he's not. Okay, he still has a mana open. Oh, wait, he has multiple mana open.
Scotch's hand Peter is currently 3, so it's actually 3 to 3.
Really? Oh, okay. Thank you, Scotch. Stream Judge.
Yeah, Stream Judge. Stream Judge.
Stream
Scotch
Judge.
we call him Stream Judge.
Stream Judge, yeah.
15,000 to 50,000 here. Gohan coming into Gotenks.
Okay, yeah. Just controlling the board here. Just putting Vegeta back in check here. Making sure that he does not have multiple resources to applying pressure on his life. Peter's already in the red zone.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because Peter has to use all these guys to kill Vegeta's guys, and we talk about this a lot in the Soul Striker mirror match, where it's like right now Peter's on the defensive, so he's using his resources to attack battle cards, which essentially turns all of the Vegeta players' battle cards into blockers. If that makes sense. It's saving him this much life. Like just having Gotenks Gohan has saved him potentially 3 life, which is game. If that makes sense. Which is scary. I mean, essentially he's not going to get a whole lot out of his turn, offensive wise.
Can locals buy Crossworlds booster boxes on 22? 22. On the 22nd. The 22nd is our Union Force Shop Championship. That's kind of like Bandai's own little twist on a sneak preview.
Oh, cool.
Pre-release if you come from Magic and Pokemon. And that's where you just earn a Crossworlds pack. There will not be any product for sale until March 9th, I believe. March 9th is a Friday. But no, you cannot purchase. You can pre-order the Crossworlds booster boxes at $65 in store or 70. I think it's like down to like 74 online. Online's usually not as good of a margin for us after TCG player fees and like shipping costs. It's usually just better just for locals to buy the boxes online. But you'll still get excellent service, excellent shipping, and you'll get it early if you do order it on our website. So still not the most terrible deal. Plus, you could bundle it up with all your singles. That will be the lowest price, 100%. So everything will come in a nice little package, nice little care package. You'll be able to get everything that you need for the new set. But yeah, the first sneak peek is going to be that 22nd event. So definitely come out to the Shop Championship. That's going to be this coming Thursday at 7. We normally don't have these things on Thursdays, but we scheduled it for Thursday because it's our Dragon Ball night anyways, so might as well. The earlier to see these new cards, the better. I personally want to see these cards as soon as possible. I'm ready.
They're sick.
I'm already kind of tired of looking at the same stuff.
I'm laughing because Jewlz actually has another Gotenks, 3-drop Gotenks in hand, which would make the third one we've seen. Actually, I think maybe the fourth one.
So Peter went down to 2 here, missed that, but this mirror is going to be threatening lethal here. So, there goes a critical from Jewlz going down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, it might be 3 life. We're not sure. It's kind of covered.
I guess we'll see if this is critical. If this is critical here.
What, the Vegeta? Yeah. It is critical. Looks like the Piccolos are going out of hand here.
Let's see what he decides to do here. Look at, at 2 life, he's a Champa away from essentially swinging it with Mirror here for game.
Oh yeah, no negate from here will be very deadly from Peter.
Okay, here comes 20,000 critical into 15,000.
Yep, and he has a negate, so he should probably do it now. Oh, whoa, wait, Oh, he's at 3 life. Okay, never mind. Peter's at 3 life. We got this wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so no negates here.
Here comes Kel.
Oh, Kale. Kale and Mira, best friends.
They high-fiving each other. It's like tag team
Hey,
champions of the world.
You just got in there. Let me get in there.
Let me get it. Let me have it. Let me come over the turnbuckle here.
Kale should have been like every time it attacks a leader, draw a card. But being able to attack a battle card and then draw a card and then get rid of that battle card is just
it's so good.
Devastating.
Again, Peter with a very defensive hand, though. Keeping him in this game. Only 4 cards in hand. Pretty devastating 4 cards in hand, though. Has access to Kel.
Boxes to Australia, you should be able to have that option on the website. If Australia is not a shipping option, that's just because TCG Player doesn't support Australia. It's not anything against us. But you can definitely email us, and we'll have our shipping department give you a quote, and we'll be able to PayPal invoice you. As long as you have PayPal, we're both covered. Us as a business and you as a consumer, and you'll make sure you'll get the tracking and everything gets done properly via our PayPal invoice. So make sure you just shoot us over an email on what you'd like to purchase. We'll give you a quote depending on the price, on the weight and price of the destination, and we'll be able to get that on your way and at least give you a quote so that you can examine your options. But yeah, TCG Player just doesn't support some destinations for some reason.
TCG Player would be a pretty cool place to go get some cards, by the way.
Yeah, TCG Player, fantastic. We're normally the cheapest on that site. We almost have, that's the most competitive platform for any, I think, singles at all. You have all the top sellers with any type of, large online presence on there, and you're always getting the best deal because you're just looking at multiple. Instead of having like 5 tabs open, you're just like TCG Player. I can compare all these guys.
Right.
Just search up anything, and 90% of the time you'll find us at the bottom of the list. So it's just a fantastic website. It does wonders, and we're one of the top partners with them. So shout out to them. They've been fantastic. Walmart, we're actually on the verge of being on Walmart. Actually, they actually extended a application for us to be qualified on there. So we're like, hey, why not? It's just a little bit annoying because now you got to have a different, cards on there, and then you're just like, okay, these cards in my shoebox are now on Walmart. All these cards over here in this little shoebox are like, obviously not a shoebox, but it's just another tedious thing.
They organize their cards in shoeboxes at PPG.
That's how we start our cards, guys.
Yeah, you literally the back is just a bunch of
buy them out. We ship them in our socks from the shoeboxes. Okay, so Peter's still hanging on by a thread here at 3 life.
Yeah, 3 life, and I think our Vegeta player's at 1 life. Let's see. 1 life and 3 life, pretty tough.
1 life? Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he can
living on the edge.
Make this map, but we'll see what he's in his hand. He could have Trunks. It has another Kel. These Kels have been killing Kels. It's just like a Kel fiasco in here.
Kel on Kel. Violence.
Kel on Kel action.
Speaking of Kel, if you don't have your Kales, pick them up.
Yeah.
Because that Khalifa is just insane. And then what's it called? Kaba? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kaba. They all work as a team, which they do in the show, which is awesome, flavorful. But you get to play them all in the same deck, and they just make each other so much better. Khalifa not letting you KO your own cards by your own battle effects, so KO essentially being free. And I think Kaba searches, them or something like that.
Yeah, right? Kaba lets you look at the top 10.
Holy, top 10?
Top 10. Put a Kel in your hand, and I think a Kefla or a Koflia, you can just play it.
Koflia, okay.
Yeah.
I still don't know how to pronounce her name. I just call it Khalifa.
Me too. I have no idea what her name is.
Was Khalifa.
I should just call her a cauliflower. That's like what she's named after. So it's just
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah, kale is also vegetable. That's so funny how I don't know if they have to do it on purpose.
Yeah, it's all the stands are named after vegetables. That's why Kakarot's like a carrot. And Vegeta's the king, so he's like the vegetable. Raditz is a radish.
Makes sense.
Okay, see what Vegeta can do here.
Shout out to everyone that's still in the store, by the way. I don't know. It's almost past our closing hours. They're just hanging out playing Dragon Ball, having fun. The people that like dropped or whatever.
No, that's what time do you guys usually close?
Yeah, no, 11.
Oh, okay.
What time is it now?
11:14.
11:14. Okay, yeah. They love us because we stay open past hours almost all the time. Almost all the time.
Jeez, look, he's just like, you got me.
Boom, you got me. Here's the all-in. Peter takes game 1 in the finals.
See how he gets those muscles from just dumping combo cards onto the field, apparently. Yeah, he's just
lifting these giant combo cards right onto the field.
150,000. Repping it.
By the way, guys, ARG Regional Championship number 6 happening next weekend in North Carolina,
It's
correct?
gonna be so. Yep, North Carolina. It's gonna be so awesome.
It's gonna be sick. Back
Yeah.
to the cold, my bane, the bane of my existence. Anywhere but Florida. It's just always so cold at this time of year. I'm just like, ugh,
I
the
know.
worst.
I know.
I never want to leave here. It's just so nice and warm.
It's very nice.
But
Awaken AJ Kitchen Table. I looked at your website and the Vegeta profile looks amazing. What program did you use to do that? Thank you so much. By the way, that's so old. By the way, it's still from set one. Essentially, I just got so busy with everything with YouTube and Twitch and Patreon and like going to regionals. I had to give something up, and so I chose the website. I was just like, I can't. I can't. I have to like cut it out. But I actually just used Photoshop for it. So I did all the graphic work on Photoshop. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. It really means a lot.
still managed to do so many things at the same time. I'm still always amazed, that
Dude.
you've been doing a great job putting in so much work. I'm
Thank you.
surprised you had the time to come out here. I mean, like, I'm super appreciative.
Listen,
This is awesome.
I'm doing it. I'm doing this. I mean, this has been amazing. I was honored to be invited out here, and like I said, I hope you have me back.
No,
Um,
100%. That's not
love to
even
be
that goes
here.
without question. You're pretty much, solidified your spot forever under the PPG banner.
Nope. All right, guys.
I'm about to lock you up in here instead of you taking Lester. I'm just gonna lock this door.
I'll be
You're
like-
gonna stay here, and so is
I'm
Lester.
too,
And
I'm
both of
too
you will stay in
tired
this
and
room.
hot to fight. I'm just like, you win. And it's like-
Right.
I try to hit the door a couple times.
I already
just
moved
fall
in a
asleep.
mattress in the room, so you got you got your whole. You'll always be on stream while you're sleeping and everything.
Best commentator ever. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Mayor McCheese. I know you're talking about me.
Nope, he's talking about Lester, right? Love you, Lester. He's talking about Lester. Best
I love you,
commentator ever.
Lester.
Talking about Lester.
Oh, shout out to Lester.
Talking about Lester. That's who I would imagine he was talking about. Yeah, Lester. That's what he said. So
Ah.
he said it's definitely me
Nice hand.
speaking to
Nice hand,
Lester.
Peter. You might want to put that back.
Nig store credit address. Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay. That's
I'll
a
just be-
sideboard. That's a sideboard.
He'll
He's
just put me
showing us crucial information here.
And we just like, you know
He
what,
just
Peter,
went into
shut
the
up.
mind of
Stop.
Peter.
We're over here trying to see who's the best commentator and who has the
Right.
best website.
Get outta
Would
here,
you stop worrying
attention
about this card
hog.
game that we don't care about?
No, definitely. Sideboarding is a huge thing that goes into this game, and
Absolutely.
that's something that a lot of people just underestimate how important it is.
It
because
is. It
It
is.
just gives
Yep.
another dimension to the game. I mean,
Yeah.
especially against those matchups where you're just like, I don't feel comfortable. Now you can definitely just completely change up the deck, and 15 cards is a lot.
It is a lot. It's
You
a whole
can
bunch.
change your complete method of attack.
Yeah, I
which
always
is
have to say
fantastic.
that sideboards, in my opinion, are like essentially the deck builders or the player's signature to the deck.
Amazing.
Right? They're always
Yes.
different. You
Mhm.
know, they're like a snowflake. Not everyone's sideboard's the same. I also think, from a game design standpoint, sideboards are the scariest thing to have in a game because once you have a sideboard, you give a deck that's already strong the potential to be good against everything.
Yeah.
Because they might be weak to something game one, they can just sideboard into something to beat it. Luckily, in Dragon Ball, these sideboard cards are so niche and so specific that it's actually, like you said, just shows like displays the skill of a player. In the sideboard, it doesn't alter the matchup ridiculous amount. It just kind of gives them little tools to kind of give a little bit of an edge instead of like, oh, I sideboard in this card, I'm unbeatable now. Like, you can't beat me. What are you playing over there, Vegeta? Cool, I sideboard in this card that says if you play Vegeta, you lose, so you're an idiot. It's not like that. It's much more tailored to just very little advantages instead of these like big cards.
I really love it because it just gives you more cards, and I always want to play more cards.
Yep.
I'm always a fan of just having more options and just having more cards. And maybe I don't feel like main decking 4 Senzu Beans. Maybe I just want to main deck 3.
Right,
and
have
just
that one
the
on the
fourth,
side. Yeah,
and just have one on the side because it's just not great against everything. And you're just like, I want to play more cards. I want to play something brand new, something that I normally don't mess with, and then that's good against this particular matchup. And because it's not played in the main deck too much, it doesn't get too much attention. So not many people grab on, catch on. So, going into game 2 here.
do the
I'm
announcers
guessing-
know which sleeves Peter's using?
Yes, he's actually supposed to be using Ultra Pro, but don't. Hopefully, they're not watching the stream and they don't scold me for this. But it's always up to the players to see what sleeves they feel comfortable with. Because yeah, sure, we might be sponsored by Ultra Pro, but if you don't feel your mojo exactly 100% with, a certain type of sleeve, or maybe you think it's bad juju or blah blah blah. There's always like these like weird things. Even with athletes, they're like, man, I'm gonna wear these socks from when I won my high
My high
school
school,
state
yep.
championship with,
Yep.
and they're in the NBA now and they're doing
Yep.
fantastic just
I
because
wore
it's a
these
mental
socks
thing.
when I won my championship, made out with the head cheerleader on the bleachers. So I ain't never taken them off. Exactly.
So that happens, and that's a thing, and that's sometimes the secrets to a lot of people's performance. As mental as that may seem, these games are, a lot of mental games involved. So, Peter right now is playing some Dragon Shields, classic Dragon Shields, non-matted, and I believe it's just the white line, just basic white Dragon Shields. They retail for about $10 to $12 at your local game store. Make sure you check them out for sure. We don't actually sell many supplies online. We only really sell the Eclipse online, but your local game store should have them for the most
Awesome.
part. I mean, they're fantastic sleeves. There's nothing really that I can say against them. I mean, I obviously prefer Ultra Pro, and that's not even being biased. I do like the Eclipse line. I feel like it was just a completely different product from their
normal stuff.
yeah.
Yep.
Like, it was just, man, did a new sleeve company come out that like that feeling?
Yes. Yep.
Like, is this Ultra Pro?
That's
No, I
not
don't
just
think
your
so.
opinion. That's actually like popular
No,
opinion.
it's just
Like that's
actually,
actually
yeah,
if
it
you
was
go look at
actually a thing.
reviews for like Ultra Pro Eclipse, like it's a legit sleeve. Like,
That's
it's
funny
actually,
because when we had first approached them about a sponsorship, that was actually one of the things that they were just finished like producing and
the
wasn't
sleeves.
actually available to the market. Like, we got it like 2 or 3 months in advance, and it wasn't even like, it didn't have any branding or marketing or anything on it. It was just like a prototype sleeve, and they
Okay.
gave it to us for our Yu-Gi-Oh players because that was the only team that we had sponsored at that point, and it was making
Amazing.
waves, man.
Oh
It was
my
just
gosh.
it was the biggest talk of any sleeve, and they finally extended to the standard size versions, and those surely were a hit as well, as expected. And they've just been fantastic sleeves. But Dragon Shields, I do love too. I mean, like, I've used them a few times. I'm not a fan of the matted, like I am on a lot of sleeves. I'm not really a fan of the matted, but those Eclipse are matted, but they don't feel like matted. They just feel like jelly. Like, when you shuffle them, it's just like, ugh. It's such a satisfactory feeling.
It is. It is.
But the Dragon Shields are definitely good though, because they're glossy. They're the only bad thing is just they're really slippery. They could be a little bit too newish.
Right.
As weird as that sounds, sometimes you want a little friction,
Little
a
bit
little
of friction.
bit more friction,
Yep.
a little bit
Yep.
more
So
friction.
you have that. You have that little friction, that little
yeah,
smooth
yeah.
feel.
Definitely.
That's what we actually need to develop is sleeve lube. I'm telling you right now, we could literally be millionaires.
Oh my god.
No one else has it. Name a company that has sleeve lube. Nobody.
That's true. You're
I'm
completely
saying right now.
$1 million idea.
Yes,
All right, we're
yes,
definitely
right.
doing it.
Yeah.
Going into production tomorrow.
Sleeve
and
lube.
mass production.
And we're out of business.
And we're out of business. And there it is. It's gone. So back to the game. We got Peter here. Double full power chunks and energy, which is definitely what you want to be having. You always want to have double green in this deck.
Mhm.
It gives you the ability to cast a Kale, cast a Gohan, cast anything that you need that's green. And then you always want to have like multiple blue sources, because that's what your Goku untaps, and then you can use it for a lot of the majority of your cards, which is like Sensu Bean. You always want to keep a blue up. Negate, you want to keep a blue up. It doesn't have obviously the flexibility that Mecha Frieza does, that you can just tap out or just keep a different color open. You always have to have a blue
Right.
open, because there's really nothing else, unless people see you can, I guess, bluff a King Vegeta's surprise attack.
Right.
But I think now it's already not even a surprise.
Right. Yeah,
So
it used to
if you
be. It
see-
used
yeah,
to be. You get surprise attack. You're like, God, that card exists. Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
So now when you see a blue, like, unless you keep like green and blue up, which is still kind of awkward and weird, and
Right.
might give your opponent that knows, obviously about the card, a little bit of a like foretelling of what's coming.
You're just doing such a good job defensively here. I
No,
just can't
yeah,
believe
it's just good.
it's still at 7 life.
This is what you want to do against Vegeta. I mean, I don't know. When I first saw Peter play against Vegeta, and we were all like trying to solve, like, how do I beat Vegeta, blah blah blah. I can never beat this deck. I can never beat Vegeta when I was playing Goku, and it was just so frustrating. And I see how Peter played it, and then I try to replicate it, and I'm like, it just never goes that way
Right,
for me.
right.
I don't know why, and it's just some things, sometimes you just can't play, 100% that way, or the way that somebody plays, because a lot of the time it just really depends on their read on the player
Mhm.
and the situation that they're in, what cards they've seen in the main board. Like, there's so many factors, and you're just like, you can't imitate it because, it could be different in every single, like, every little tiny iteration of the scenario, it could be different the way that you play it out. So he's definitely gotten this matchup.
Yeah, he knows what's going on in this matchup.
He's gotten it down. Yeah, he's gotten it really, really down, and he's very comfortable with it. So I see it hard for him to lose this at all, to be honest. But anything can happen. I mean, there's always that luck of the draw. We got Kale here.
You're gonna be able to draw a card here. Oh,
Time.
devastating!
That's the best.
I hate playing Vegeta and having someone kill me, and I draw a card, and they draw a card. It's just like you kill my board. You swing with me 20,000 cred, so I have to discard a card, and you get to draw a card. Cool.
Yeah, definitely not. Resolving a kill just always feels great, especially against Vegeta. It's even sweeter.
Oh yeah, it's just that. Tastes good.
Tastes good.
With that sleeve lube on it. See what happens here. Peter, again, being a little bit aggressive. Next turn, Peter's going to have access to results. I love Kale.
That's funny. We're just talking about Kale here.
Non-stop.
And Peter just lives and dies by that card.
Smiley face.
I love the way that Peter really conducts himself in game right. It doesn't matter how much pressure or what's on the line. He always makes finds a way to make it just such a non-pressuring scenario,
right,
not awkward, always friendly, and it makes the game so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, when me and Peter played our top 32 match in Richmond, we literally just were laughing the entire time. It's the entire time we're just joking each other the whole time, and it was really cool to play against somebody. It's still at a high level. Obviously, we were taking the game serious.
Yeah.
But it was just really cool to play against somebody that you can just joke with and play seriously and have a good game of Dragon Ball.
And he could focus so well.
Yeah.
I feel like he focuses better. And then maybe it's just like a mind game.
Yeah, I should have just been a dick to him. I think you're right. I should have just been like, stop laughing. This is serious.
Definitely.
Quit smiling.
That probably would have got you the game. You messed up.
I know. Now I know.
Now I know. So, little note to you guys: so if you do play Peter, you know how to act.
Yeah, just be really mean to him.
Yeah, just be really, really, really mean to him. Just insult him every chance that you get.
Yeah, if he tries to laugh, just be like, "This is not a laughing matter. This is Dragon Ball. This is life. Do not ever laugh at me."
Don't.
Did Vegeta laugh when he fought Majin Buu for the fate of our universe? No.
No. No.
No, he didn't.
All right, no.
So you don't need to be laughing.
There's some serious business. There's some card games on motorcycles.
Here's a Boo. Free card. Draw a card. Gets a Super Saiyan Gotenks. What a rare.
I just feel like at this point, when Goku starts doing this to me. Oh, wait, what? Jewlz is playing a Gohan in his...
Yeah.
I guess I'm fairly certain that has come out of the sideboard. That Gohan definitely, definitely came out of the sideboard, and I think that's a good adjustment by Jewlz. Obviously it's not looking so good right now, but I feel like that's a very good thing because the Goku deck is just trying to stabilize. It's trying to stabilize and it's trying to throw down a bomb. Like that Gotenks right there. That's extremely pressuring, and that's something that you don't want to see on the board for more than one turn. It's pressuring.
And you have to be like that too. I mean, as a Vegeta player, you have to find a way to keep up with Soul Striker Goku. You have to find a way because they can play 2 threats a turn, and if you let them play two threats a turn and don't kill them, then the next turn they play 2 more. At that point, they have 4 threats on turn on board. There's no way you're winning that game. So you have to play these cards like Kel and Gohan that come into play. Deal with at least one of their threats and still apply pressure to them. So I think it's an extremely smart move by Jewlz.
Peter showing us his hand. Oh man, it's saucy. Oh, and he plays with that Piccolo upside down, as a lot of you guys have heard. That's his little tips and tricks from Peter Cattani. He puts it upside down because he knows that he can't activate it. He cannot. Sure. He's not legal to activate the Piccolo because he's not at 4 life or less. Because in this deck, you're obviously most of the time you're resulting, and when you result, you're obviously above 4. So him being at 6 here does not qualify him for Piccolo. So just to remind him, sometimes you're just you look at your leader and it's drawing me cards. I'm flipped. I could obviously Piccolo, but no.
Yeah, it's actually happened in some high level events where the players will.
The penalties can be severe.
Absolutely. So the moral of the story is, if you ever play Peter, he has cards upside down in his hand. That's how many Piccolos he has.
He couldn't do it actually in the last 2 events that he's been in because he plays with art sleeves, Mega Man sleeves.
So it's extremely obvious.
Yeah. I think he did it anyways,
Yeah.
but now he can't
no
do
one
it because like
notices, sure.
everybody will know. Yeah.
Well, actually, if he's smart enough, he can meta people, so he can be like, okay, now everybody
Oh
knows I
yeah,
do
just
it. So now I'm just
his
gonna
whole
act like-
hand upside down.
Yeah,
I
he's
got
like,
a
I have 5
handful
of
of
them.
piccolos.
Judge.
I mean, there's nothing against it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe there is. No, I don't. Not that I know of. Let's see, I'm not the most experienced judge. I haven't judged a regional yet. Thanks to Jim. Thank you, Jim. Shout out to you if you're watching this. Appreciate
What
the
was
chance
that?
of.
Thanks a lot, Jim. By the way, Jim, thank you so much for watching. I love you. I'm not mad at you at all about judging.
I did attempt to judge. I mean, it was his decision. I see you.
This game was awesome.
This game is awesome. Yeah, we do love Dragon Ball. That's why we're here past 11, casting this for you guys.
11:30.
We actually had the chance. They were like, I want to go. Can we like not stream this? I was like, please, come on. It's the finals.
It's the
like,
finals.
They've
We gotta-
already missed out on a
Yep.
few things because everybody you decided to just
Shows how awesome,
savages.
shows how awesome these players are.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, Peter always a great sport. When we ask him, like we're just like, please, I know you didn't want to be on stream all day, but can you just do
Give
at
me one
least this
time.
for us?
For the fans.
He's like, sure, So we really appreciate these guys, and Jewlz obviously coming from Orlando. Like,
Oh man, so
Peter
far.
lives 5 minutes away, literally 5 minutes away from the store.
Does he really just live
Yeah,
on this way?
just right there. Like he lives closer than I do from the store. Like,
Jeez.
it's just so insane. And Jewlz
I
is
just
out
figured
here.
he just lived like upstairs somewhere. He just slept here. I figured,
Right?
Yeah.
No, I might as well be living, and we might as well be living here. And we're here all day, every day, pretty much. I mean, Peter's here almost every day, except for the days that he's working. But
So 20,000 and 20,000 here. Goku into Kel. Beautiful thing about Soulshire Goku, as it turns out, can pressure cards like Kel for free.
it shouldn't have really been 20k when
It
attacking.
probably
Like
shouldn't
it's
have been.
just that's a little bit over
It's
the top.
a little over the
just a
top.
little
I mean,
bit.
it's actually not too bad if that's all it had.
Or just at least have like 5 blue energy. Like you know
Right.
how Vegeta has
Yeah,
to have
sure.
like 5 or 6 blue energy. At least have it just specified, just blue energy. You specified blue energy with the restand. Why
It's-
wouldn't you just do it with the
it's
pump?
it's so good. It's so good. Not as good as Pan, by the way. Just so you
Oh
guys
my
know. Go
God.
to go to
I mean, might as well. It's on Pro Play. so yeah.
pro-playgames.com. Go get you guys some Pan cards. Tell me what, cards insane.
Get some pans
We're gonna break it.
for your food.
Some pans
For your food in your pans. I don't know what else
We're
to
all-
pair with pan.
me
but,
and George are
yeah.
so hungry. We're starting to
Or pan like bread in Spanish, since we're in Miami. Pan.
I'm
Pan con mantequilla.
about ready to eat this freaking water bottle right here.
We had we actually served up Dusty his first Cuban sandwich
I
today.
know, my first Cuban sandwich. I was so excited. I was so weird because I'm like the traditional like tourist, right? So, you don't need to break Pan. She breaks herself. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Remember, guys, pro-playgames.com. Get those pre-orders on Pans. I don't want one of those to be left in stock when I leave here. But yeah, so we came here and I'm like one of those nerds. Always want to eat I want to eat like the touristy stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the best thing to eat?
What's the best thing in the state of
Yeah,
Florida?
well,
And
it's-
actually, Miami particular.
It's so funny. So me and my wife, when she was driving to the airport, we start looking it up.
I'm tempted.
We start looking at it. And I was like, okay, I want a Cuban sandwich. And I was like, but I'm pretty sure that I can't go there and call it a Cuban sandwich. I was like, that seems like racist to me. Like if you go to Italy and you go, hey, can I have an Italian sandwich? There's going to be like, you're stupid. All of our sandwiches are Italian sandwiches. I was like, I don't think I could do that. And so I'm looking up the actual name of it, which is called like a Cubano. And so I come here, and I was like, yeah, guys, I want a Cubano. And then like Lester's literally like, here's the deal. It's actually more offensive if you call it that. Just call it a Cuban sandwich. And I was like, okay, so here we go, Cuban sandwich. Yeah, and it was actually delicious. It was amazing. We had the plantain fries.
You
is that what
liked
they're
it?
called?
I'm glad. Yeah, plantains. Yeah,
Oh my
plantain
gosh,
fries.
they
Yeah.
were so good.
I mean, it's so much better than just American fries. American fries, I feel like, are just too heavy. Those are just like
They were
nice
crisp,
and crisp.
crisp,
Yeah.
sweet.
Not too much. Yeah, it's just sweet, instead of like salty. Also,
You ever
So,
watched the movie Chef?
fantastic. No, I don't think so.
Never mind. Well, essentially, the whole movie is they drive around and sell Cuban sandwiches. And ever
Well,
since
never
I
mind.
watched that movie, I wanted one. So I'm so happy I
Oh,
got
really?
to come here and get one.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to provide that experience for you.
Well, that's the only reason I came, to be 100% honest with you.
Fantastic. I was able to experience some of your hometown Virginia snow, and that wasn't very enjoying. So I'm glad that I was able to give you an enjoyable
Yeah,
experience.
it's cool. I mean, I love that. People are always like, it's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, it's real beautiful. And then it kills people, and people wreck, and, like homeless people die because it's so cold, and animals freeze to death. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty cute.
Just
I guess
crash cars all
yeah, I
over the
guess
place.
it's beautiful, though. Yeah, because like the sand isn't,
in the
or like
movies.
yeah,
You're just like, oh man,
it's
it's
just
so
pretty.
nice in the movies, and then you go here, it's just cold and raining and just
Right.
like miserable, and there's ice that you can't even see
You can it's like yeah,
because
called black ice. You
black
can't even see it; it
ice.
just kills you. Yeah, that's neat. That's my favorite.
It's just crazy, dude.
Yeah,
Like, how do you live with that? It's so. It must be.
it's in constant fear.
Yeah, no, it's
It's just
just.
a constant fear. It
Feels
just
like the maintenance in those cities just so much higher.
yeah,
You're
you
just like, oh
freaking
man, I gotta start like looking out for I gotta clean up after Mother Earth. Hey, Mother Earth,
I
thanks.
hate that. Yeah, it actually it gets so cold it actually cracks like the pavement. So that's pretty cool.
What's my nationality? I'm actually Cuban. Surprise, surprise. Woo, Cuban. Yeah, pretty. I mean, I was born here in America, but my parents are of Cuban descent. And
So like, is a Cuban sandwich like a thing? Is that like a
no, yeah, it's a super thing. Yeah,
like you guys actually just
everybody loves
like
it. Yeah,
that's an
they're
actual
like
thing?
cubano, cubano. They just call it that. Not even a Cuban sandwich. Just fucking. Yeah. But yeah,
That's unbelievable.
it's a thing. It's a thing. I mean, I don't have it too often. It's not like, oh, you're Cuban, you must have a Cuban sandwich every day because you're Cuban and you make a sandwich, so it's obviously a Cuban
Well,
sandwich.
I was
No.
when I was a kid, ever since I was a kid, I was always like jealous because like my family is Irish, right? And Irish, obviously, I'm like you, we're from America, right? And like, my grandfather was like Irish, but like my dad is not, like super Irish or anything. And so, but it's like we don't really have anything, right? It's like, Italians get like spaghetti and like meatballs, and these delicious, like, super awesome like Italian dishes, and like, Cuban, you have that, and Spanish food's amazing, and Chinese food and Jap. You have all these awesome things, and like Irish people are like, you get drunk and fight, and it's like,
You get drunk.
cool. Can I get like something
Nice.
to eat?
And
Like
tap
that's
dancing. Tap dancing.
yeah,
You
like
can't get the.
a Lord of the Dance. That's
Yeah,
cool. Thank you.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's
Can I get like a cool
fantastic. I mean,
sandwich?
so manly to tap dance in your skirts and
Right,
all
my
that,
skirts,
right?
my kilts. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
kilts. Yeah, that's what it's called. Whatever, skirts. Fancy name for it.
At Meta, can you put the top 16 on your YouTube channel so I can learn? Actually, the Pro Play it'll be on the Pro Dash Play Games YouTube site. He said he'll do that, and I think he's also going to do some deck profiles as well. It's just
Actually, they all left. They were just like, I just want to go. I was like, all right, I don't even
Thanks,
get a deck
guys.
profile, yet alone not a stream match. Now all these guys are left on hanging. The all you guys are here like high fiving us, and then all of a sudden they
You're
all
like,
left.
okay, good
and
deck
it's just
profile.
like,
See ya.
oh, all right, see ya. So no deck profiles, unfortunately. We want to post a deck list for sure. That's gonna happen. We're gonna post these few matches that we've had streamed. Obviously, all of Swiss, and then the top 16, and the final, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that should be enough for now. Unfortunately, no deck profiles, but I am a fan of the deck profiles. I like the
I too. I think it's
intimacy of like the player telling you
it,
why.
yeah, exactly, because that's one of the things. I know a lot of people kind of like they cry around about net decking and stuff, but net decking is one of the best ways to get players into the game. They get because like it could be over. Could you imagine
Always.
if you decided to play this game today
Hmm.
and you look and there's like what, like 600 cards out, and you're
It's
just
like,
like,
what do I
yeah,
do?
I quit. Like you get so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so net decks are a great way to get players into the game. And one of the big problems they have when they try a net deck is they don't know how to play the deck.
Yeah,
And so
exactly. They don't get
right,
it.
and
It's
so
not like you're
players
copying the skill.
right,
You can't
right.
copy the skill.
Right, and so players, telling you like this is why I play this card, so it gets this matchup, and it's really helpful.
No, it's fantastic. Net decking is definitely necessary, and it shouldn't be frowned upon at all because it all depends on the skill, to be honest. And
Ooh.
oh, nice. They are online. Tony is MVP for you guys. Deck lists
Well,
are now up.
I don't know how Tony's MVP if Lester's.
Oh yeah, that's right. They
So-
could both be MVPs. I mean, like we got Lester giving us his sign of love.
His side is love, yeah. It means he loves us.
Yeah, our employees always doing a great job back there. So I'm glad that they can follow directions from time to time. It's great. It makes me feel
I'm still- I'm
so
still-
confident in them. Obviously, that's the reason why I'm here today. Shout out to them. Obviously, no sarcasm.
They're amazing. I'll tell you,
Oh,
since we
thanks.
came in here, they've all just been like. I walked in the door. I took my first Uber ride today, by the way. Which
I
was
can't
like,
believe I really can't like fathom that.
I was just the first time. I mean,
You've
I live in
never
West
had
Virginia. I
Uber?
don't. There's nowhere to Uber. I just like literally like I don't leave my house.
I mean, yeah, you're
because
probably like
the weather
in a
kills
village
you.
somewhere,
Yeah, right.
right?
Like
And
yeah, I'm
then
like I have like a
it's covered by snow.
right. Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
you
We
probably
just
don't
take
have
horses
to go
everywhere.
anywhere. Yeah,
Right.
it makes sense.
Yeah, and so I brought 12 Huskies to work. I saw like Danny Hype. He lives in Canada. He's the one who takes the Huskies. We're a little bit more civilized than West Virginia, excuse me. And so we I get here and George is like, yeah, take an Uber, and I was like, okay. I shouldn't be too hard. So I like download the Uber app. I'd like get it, and then like, my guy that I get speaks no English, and he just kept saying "f you" over. He's like "f you, f you," and I was like, "Crap." Like I've offended him. I talked about a Cuban. I did something wrong. I've offended him, and then we right before we get here, we drive past like I guess the Florida University.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Florida
and so I think
International
he thought
University.
I was a student, which is pretty. I mean, thank you,
Yeah, I mean,
Uber
yeah,
driver. That
makes sense.
actually means a lot to me. I'm actually 32, so I don't. So
You can't be a student.
yeah, I guess I could be right, but I guess he thought I was a young buck
Young
college
buck.
student. Must have been the beard with all the gray hair in it.
It's funny because FIU actually has like some big letters on like their big library or whatever, and it says FIU.
Oh,
And
okay.
after the hurricane, it
Oh,
actually
no.
took down the I, so it actually just says FU.
So that's that's
So-
proof that Mother Nature has some sense of humor. is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it was actually hilarious. That's funny because we actually took shelter here for the hurricane. Because I was like, I'm pretty sure this is more safe than my house. Pretty sure.
Pretty confident.
But it was fantastic. It was a great time. I don't regret it one bit.
Right.
And nothing was damaged. We were all safe. So, it could have also obviously turned out completely opposite and terrible, but it did. That's all that matters.
Actually, might have a possibility. We'll see.
Is Peter tapped out? No.
No, he has two energy up.
See, every time Peter plays this matchup, I'm just like, I'm never playing.
I have never played
winning
against. I have
Goku,
never
like,
played Soul Striker against Vegeta where I have like 15 threats out like this.
Never.
That's never happened to me.
Never. I don't know how
I have one
it
life on
happens.
turn
It gets
2.
me so mad.
Right.
It's like, against Vegeta, I have like 1-2 cards. I'm drawing results off the top of my deck when I'm at 2.
Every single time.
Like, ugh. Jeez, I don't know. It just must be this aura around Peter that's just, and his despise for Vegeta. He just despises
Right.
the deck. We were like all on Vegeta for Indianapolis.
He just didn't
Except
want to
for
play it.
him, yeah, except for him and Abella. Abella was on Goku, and then he was on Golden Frieza. Everybody else was on Vegeta. Me, Ale, Eddie, Marcel. Like, it was just. He was just like, I refuse to play Vegeta. I don't care if it's the best deck. I won't play it. I don't care if I keep losing to it, because he kept losing to it. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna play against so many Vegetas. He ends up just losing to it in the final or in the top 4. I'm just like, you know what? That's what you get. That's what you get. I told you couldn't beat Vegeta.
That's what you get.
Oh my god, going all in here. So it looks like it's gonna
Peter's
be a quick
like,
final
I'm
here.
in. Here we go. Bulma coming in.
Bulma coming in. With the
Jewlz is like,
daggers.
"Get
all
it, it's
right.
funny." And Peter
Peter
taking
finally gets it.
the finals.
I can't say I'm surprised, to be honest, but Jewlz put up a great fight. I mean,
No, Jewlz did a fantastic
it's
job.
one of those matchups, just like how we saw Marcel versus. I mean, sorry, not Marcel. We saw Eddie versus Colby. Just one of those matchups where you're just like.
It's one of those matchups. Yep. Where it looks like it could be favored.
It's got.
And then once you learn the matchup, it's not actually that close.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I mean, Jewlz did what he could on there, but it was just. It's too much in Peter's favor. So
A little bit. I mean, because he has Gohans, he has Negates, he has Piccolos, he has the ability to sideboard and Jocos. He just has plus he untaps 2 energy a turn, which cannot be underestimated. It's just so much value every single turn, over and over and over and over.
You're never tapping out. You're never tapping out.
It's
You
tough.
tap out on your play, and then you just untap with the leader. It's just.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to take your questions for just a little bit here.